It's gonna be close, baby. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to Truth Quest. My name is Aaron Moriarity. I will be your host, and we're going to go on a quest for truth together. Yes, we certainly are. And I want to welcome you all aboard here. I was over at the mystery ship for a brief moment just a little while ago. My buddy Zoso Dude was broadcasting from the one of the seven seas, I believe, floating around, getting everybody cozy. And we are live, and I hope you all are doing very, very well. So there we go. We are live. How else can we put it, folks? Because we are. Right? That's right. 3 watching. Hello, Peggy Dancer. Yes, you're the first one here. Hello, Jacob Waters. Welcome, welcome, folks. Glad to see you here because, you know, here at the Truth Quest, we're just downrange of strange, where the outrageous is contagious and the paranormal is the new normal. But you all know that. I am happy to be here tonight, friends. It's always so nice to be broadcasting on the intro web here, on the intronet. I call it the intronet because it introduces you to all kinds of knowledge and people. It's the intronet. That's what I call it. And it's really remarkable what you can find out on the intronet, albeit less and less all the time because of the censorship. But I think that's going to get cleared up. And we're going to get back to just hello, Operation Shutdown. Hello, Abby. Good to see you here. Glad you could make it. I've been working really hard on the children's books, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But first, I want to talk about, let's see here. As you might know, might have heard, Juicy Smollett is, oh, thank you. Nice striped shirt. Thank you very much. Yeah, I love this shirt. I almost wore a jacket with it. It works. It looks nice with the jacket too. So Jussie Smollett is his trial is underway apparently, and I found this little tidbit here. You might be interested to see what they're having to bring to the courtroom for Jussie Smollett in order to meet his perpetrators face to face. So here it is, friends. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Mirror brought into courtroom so Jussie Smollett can face his attackers. Isn't that just perfect? Oh, don't you just love it? Oh, my stupid page, the Babylonian Bee. You know, I guess it's like truth with some humor sprinkled on top. I love the Babylonian Bee. There's actually a lot of truth there. It presented in a humorous fashion. And you gotta love that, because humor rocks. There he is. They had to bring a mirror in so he could face his attackers. Yep. So sad. I mean, what a pathetic individual. Now, of course, his lawyer is claiming that when they were in counsel, Juicy Smollett's lawyer claims that the judge lunged at him or her. And, one is calling for a mistrial. I think that is just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Because they have no case. Good evening, Artist 61. Glad to see you here. And Dark Brain and Mud Rabbit. All my favorite people are here now. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm going to grab number 6 is my lucky number. I hit the thumbs up. When you hit the thumbs up, you get that lucky number. And that's your lucky number. Ooh, someone got number 7. That'll be your lucky number for a week now. How do you like that? So there's Jesse Smollett. What a weak case they have. I mean, they got no case really, right? Because they planned this all out. They did a dry run, and it was all caught on surveillance camera. How can you deny it? You can't. Of course, this is clown world, right? Clown world. We didn't know what was going to happen. We were just trying to prepare ourselves if it did happen. And then miraculously it happened. Come on. It's so funny. I mean, boy, I would hate to be, I guess on that side, because they just got nothing. They got nothing except made up stuff. Nothing but made up fake, phony, and false stuff, like my friend Dave over at X22 Report says. Fake, phony, and false. I like that. That sums up pretty much the radical left's whole agenda, based on fake, phony, and false. All this money for climate is going right into the pockets of all their friends. It's such a money laundering scheme. It's you can't spend money to lower the temperature. It's so stupid. I mean, it is so stupid. And people, they fall for it. But we're not going to fall for it, friends. We are just not going to fall for it. I ran across this picture today. It was on a meme. Now, I remember this from a few years back. I think it was an Antifa meeting or something like that. But take a look at this guy's skull. I mean, this is a meme now. Of course, Facebook is flagging this as not false information because it's not Facebook Community Standards Team. Obviously, it's just a meme. But check this out, okay? You got the Rothschild's head here. Sort of looks elongated like this. And look at this guy. Is this some kind of smudge tool on Photoshop, or is that real? What do you folks think? Is that real? Because that is really anomalous looking. That looks like this, like a descendant of this. Look at that. What do you folks think? Ever seen that before? It's very strange. Very, very strange. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't want to guess the gender of any one of those people there or what they believe their gender is. I think that would be a dangerous thing to start. Yeah. I was born a male and I am proud and happy to live my entire life as a proud male. Okay. I think we should be just happy with the way we were born. The fact that we've even made it into the world of the living is quite incredible already. We already beat the odds 1,000,000,000 to 1 to make it here. Yeah, is that a guy or a girl? Yeah, I don't know, man. It's Pat. We just don't know. It's like that thing on Saturday Night Live before this gender bender thing got too far. They had that character Pat. No one knew if it was a boy or a man or a woman or a boy or a girl or a male or female. And they turned that into a movement now. It's so ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We need to encourage people to be happy with the way they are. Everyone's different. Everyone is unique. Everyone is here for a reason. And you don't need to change something that you were born with. It's just not, it's not needed, folks. Not in a sane society. Yeah. Look at that. I think that's could, if this is a really a real person here, it could be a descendant, I'm just saying, of these. Now the eye sockets look gigantic, but I have also heard that every planet, every solar system has sort of a template of life. And so if these elongated skull creatures or beings landed here from some other, maybe Maldek, they're claiming, they think they're from Maldek, which is now the asteroid belt. If they did indeed come here, what happens is the template for this planetary realm here for Earth has a certain template for life. And over the generations, this would slowly conform to looking like us, because that's the template for life in this, on this planet, apparently, according to what some people say. So you can see the Rothschild head is not quite as pronounced as this because it's been many, I don't know, thousands of years since these bones were walking around, I believe. And this is, look at that. I mean, is that anomalous? Hello, Catherine Weiss. Good to see you here. Isn't that just bizarre though, folks? Isn't that kind of freaky? I mean, I don't like to make fun of people. I'm just curious. I'm curious about that. I'm just very, very curious about that. Coneheads. Yeah. The Coneheads. Apparently there are, well, like, the Coneheads. They got the bones to prove it. They got the bones to prove it. No bones about it. Isn't that right? Here's another thing. Now, everyone's kind of like, all for these self-driving cars. And all I can think about are problems that are going to happen with these self-driving cars. And here's one problem that I had not anticipated, but check this out. I mean, for one thing, they could hit people, right? Their scanner isn't, maybe has a fly on it or something, can't see a person and they run them over. Who knows? That's something that has happened. But here's something else. Check this out. Self-driving car keeps driving itself back to its original owner. Look at that. The Babylonian Bee is going overtime here, folks. Oh no, it's back again. I sold you. How do you tell it? It just keeps coming back. Just like a pet. You sell the pet or give it to your friend and it keeps coming back. Just like that self-driving car. Can't sell them. They just keep coming back. That reminds me, I'm trying to clean up my house here. I'm trying to throw away lots of things. And I've got all these boomerangs, but I can't throw them away. They just keep coming back. So there you go. That's a problem. I think that could be a problem. Hey, Flying Phoenix, good to see you here. Yeah, isn't that crazy? The Babylonian Bee. Love it. Oh, Weekly World News. My stupid page. Yeah, I guess it's not Babylonian Bee. There you go. Another spoof. Of course, not a real article, I don't think. If it is, it's even funnier. Don't you think? Now, if you watched the last episode, you remember that I was watching, and I showed this on the show previous to the last one, so 2 episodes ago, I believe, is this channel on YouTube that shows supposedly live streams from the space station. However, I think they just stitched together whatever footage from previous days or months, years, and they put it out there, and they put it as a live stream continually, and they do them all the time. But I was taking screenshots, if you remember this, and I was playing with the levels on these screenshots that I took of this footage. Of course, I stopped it, I screenshot it, and I found something, and I think I figured out maybe what it is. We thought originally it was Skylab, but let me just show you it again so you all can remember. So it was a picture of the Earth and this from the space station, and you really couldn't see anything in the distance. It was totally pitch black. But I increased the brightness to the point where this thing appeared. Okay. Now, if you take a look at this structure here, I mean, we were trying to figure out, is this a spaceship with another spaceship attached to it, maybe docked temporarily, possibly? And then there's a question, what are these two things? We don't know, but this is the main focus of attention right here. And if you look at these panels, now a lot of these spacecraft have solar panels. Now these look like they undulate a little bit. And I remember that was a telltale sign of a Soviet craft. And I did a brief search. I had just a little bit of time before the show, and I couldn't find the exact one I was looking for with the bent, kind of wavy looking solar panels that the Soviets used to have. But I did find some other. So we're trying to figure out what this is, friends. And Dark Brain built a catwalk and a cat stair shelves for my friend's cat on a tall TV cabinet. Now she can climb and sit on top of it, 6 to 7 feet. Wow, it's cool. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, cats love to climb. So we're trying to figure out what this is. So I'm going to show you now some of these Soviet craft. And they look kind of similar to that, although I haven't been able to find one with a pointy top. Of course, if this is a secret, some kind of secret equipment here, there wouldn't be any pictures of these exact things, right? So, but I'll show you what I found. I'm still looking. I'm still going to be keeping my eyes open for that thing there. Yes. So here is a Soviet, I'm gonna put this aside over here, a Soviet spacecraft. Now here are the undulating solar panels. They're kind of bent, I guess, to get optimal sunlight at different angles. So it's slightly different angles. That's what I remembered. Now, this looks like one here, and this is like the center part of it. Maybe these two are both docking. But I mean, if you turned this upside down and this had a point on it, it would look just like this. And if it was docked to the bottom, of a bigger thing over here, I think that looks pretty close. 17 watching, all right. Good eye, Abby. Yeah. Yeah. So there it is. I can't help but think that inside these tin cans, they must stink. They must smell, you know? I wonder what that smells like. I wonder if they have to bring like potpourri up there or something, or pump something through the air to make it not smell so bad. Yeah, I think after a while it might kind of smell. I don't know. Good thing to ask an astronaut. So there you go. That's one of them. But this one shows the undulating solar panels. I think you can see they're a little bent. And that looks a lot like that picture we just saw of that anomalous thing that we found just out of nowhere. Yeah, cats. Cats. You know, it's interesting. House cats never existed in nature. They were crossbred from larger cats to make them smaller. So we genetically engineered them, and dogs and horses and probably a host of other animals, all domesticated animals. We're kind of like, okay, what if we breed the runt of this kind of cat with the medium-sized one of that different kind of cat? What if we breed those together? What will we get? Oh, Siamese. You know, that's how they do it. Oh, you got pictures on your Gab page if you want to see it. Oh, go check out Dark Brain's Gab page to see his catwalk for cats. There you go. There you go. So I think that might be what I'm saying is from those solar panels, the way they're configured, I think this part of that anomalous thing we found might be a Soviet craft. Maybe I should send that picture to the Soviet council and see if ask them, hey, is this yours? That might, if it is, that might kind of bum them out, huh? Of course, they could be watching. You're welcome to call in. Oh, you know what? I guess for anybody to call in, I have to put the call information up, right? Yes. So here we go. Copy and paste. Thanks, Mud Rabbit. Yeah, that's my email address. It's same one as my game and toy company. There you go. There's the zoomer. Yeah, they bred some really ugly, especially too, and ruined the constitution of some dog breeds. Yeah, you know, when they say purebred, it's like, wait a minute, they got all dogs from four different kinds of wolves. So the only real purebred are those four kinds of wolves. Everything else is okay. We got to breed, you know, this non-shedding wolf with this other kind of shedding wolf, but we need to have the runt from this one and a normal size one from that one and breed them together. And then we got to breed that dog with this other dog from this other, you know, I mean, it must be just because I met someone, a woman years ago who she bred a certain type of cat. And it starts with a big cat mating with a smaller type cat. And then the offspring of that had to mate with another type of cat to get the kind of cat she was after. So a lot of, yeah. Yeah, I know people like pugs, but you know, there's something about that smooshed in face that doesn't look. I know that I had a neighbor who had a, what are those other dogs with the smooshed face called? A boxer or no, something like that. And it had all kinds of problems, breathing problems. I know, that's what I was saying, Dark Brain. Yes, I think so too. That's what I was searching for right before the show, and I found this. So I thought, oh yeah, if you just put a pointy top on here, you'd have this, this thing could be very similar. So I think that could be a Soviet. Well, maybe we could go back to that one, and so we can compare it again. And you know what else? Oh, here it is. It's over here. I'm gonna, let's see. Okay, I turned it. Well, this is going to be good. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot of both of these kind of together. All right, I'll put this over here. I'll move this over here. Yeah, I think I'll take a screenshot of this now. So yeah, it does look like that. You're right, Dark Brain. That's because as I was thinking about, we thought, okay, we found Skylab, but I don't think it really looks too much like Skylab. But those panels do look like they're undulating. They're like kind of like wavy, right? So that if they're, at an angle to the sun, part of it will still be getting hit by the sun. Whereas if they're flat, you only got like one chance to get charged up, So, okay. Now I'll show you that one. And so it kind of shows it a little better. Yeah, well, it shows them both so you can see them both. I mean, it's not ideal. And the fact that we can see like all this stuff up here, this is just because of my Zoom and my YouTube. I don't have any other. I'm not using StreamYard yet. Still trying to figure out how to get the green screen to work. So there you go. Look, you got these undulating things, and these really look like they're undulating, don't they? They look kind of wavy. Even though they're in the distance, you can kind of see it. And there you go. If this was just real pointy, it would look a lot like it. So I think could be Soviets. Who knows? Maybe Elon Musk has a nightclub in space, Oh, you know what's a good dog food, folks, to get? And I still have to get it for these dogs here. Or they get a certain kind. You can't really change their diet or you get problems. But it's called Gentle Giants. And it's made by my Facebook friend, Burt Ward, who was Robin in the original 1966 Batman. And he and his wife rescued dogs, big dogs, and they noticed that they weren't living very long. And so they started to figure out, wait a minute, the food we're feeding them, store-bought food, is just no good. So they designed this new kind of food that makes your dog live longer. I mean, all their dogs live much longer now. And they've saved like 1,000 dogs. He calls himself the canine crusader now. He was the caped crusader. Now he's the canine crusader. Yeah, good dog food. Anytime, Bruce. Yes. To the Bat Cave, Robin. To the Bat Cave, Bruce. Yep. Bruce Holmes. There he is. Yes. Bruce Holmes. Glad to see you here. I'm glad that you could make it. Yes. He's a great guy, and I hope to have him on the show sometime. You're welcome to call in if you want to. It's a call-in show. So let me get that all set up. Right now, we're just talking about this anomaly that I found in some footage from the space station. And I brightened up this picture, and this kind of emerged out of the darkness. And we're trying to match it up to, does this look Soviet or what might it be? And this Soviet craft over here has some similar parts. So we're looking at that, comparing the two. Yeah, Bruce Holmes is a very, very cool guy. He has, he's the guy behind this book here, folks. The book that I talk about a lot, being Contact with Beings of Light, the amazing true story of Dorothy Wilkinson Izard. And it's a fabulous book. And Timeless Voyager Press is the name of the publisher. And I'm telling you, this book is fantastic. I'm going to get the Kindle, I guess, version. And then I'll be able to put the color pictures, because the pictures are just beautiful that she caught. Dorothy Izard with her home movie camera, 30,000 feet of footage, amazing. And so Bruce is a real nice guy, very intelligent, and he's been doing this for a long time. So check him out. He's putting out podcasts. He's got he's like a jack of all trades, like many of us, right? Oh, I think I saw someone appear briefly, and then they disappeared. So, oh, Artist 61 sent me a photo. Okay, I'll go check that. Well, I'll have to open up my email. I suppose it's on the email, I'm guessing. Let me see. Oh, I have 417 emails. Look at that. 17 keeps coming up. Keeps coming up, folks. Oh, yeah. Oh. Soviet spacecraft. Okay, look at this. All right. Okay, I'm downloading it. I guess that's how you do it. Download. And okay. Yeah, it looks sort of similar to the one I got, but we'll show you that one too. Thank you so much for sending that. Artist 61. I'm not going to say your real name, but thank you so much. That's very cool. Looks a little like the panels you described on the screenshot. Screenshot. I love that. Make today so awesome that yesterday gets jealous. I love it. Make today so awesome that yesterday gets jealous. Oh, I love that. Well, thank you, Artist 61. That rocks. Okay, now I gotta show you what I'm talking about. Oh, wait a minute. I think I have to open it first. Did I already open it? I think I did. Okay, we'll stop with that. And we'll go back over here. We'll get this thing rolling, rolling, rolling. Here it is. There it is. This is what Artist 61 sent. Yeah, look at that. That's beautiful. Yeah, it's got the panels that these are straight. Yeah, I found a lot of straight ones. It was very hard to find the undulating ones. But you know what? There's some space over here, right? Let's see what might be lurking there, shall we? Let's find out. Oh, this might be fun, folks. Color. Maybe we can find something lurking in the distance there. This is how you do it. You zoom up the brightness all the way. And the shadows, the dark shadows, you'll brighten them up. I'm not seeing anything. And look how beautiful the Earth looks from up here. And did you notice how you can see more of the atmosphere when you do this brightening? So you see the atmosphere here. It's just a little bit of fuzz, thin layer, right? Okay, now watch. Zoom the brightness up and zoom the shadows, the dark shadows up. Now you can see more of that atmosphere there. See, it's a little bit thicker than it looks to the naked eye. Well, there you go. Okay, now watch the thickness of the atmosphere disappear now when I do this. See? There you go. But that's how rare, you know, I went through all the other screenshots that I took that other day, and I didn't find anything on any of them except that one that I found with the anomaly. So that was something else. Something right else. Here we go. Now we got it. Oh, now we got someone. Bruce Holmes is in the house. I went through all the other screenshots. All right, Bruce, just mute the stream, and he's probably connecting his audio.
Mute the stream.
Yeah, you're listening to the stream on maybe on your computer. Just so mute that because there's a little delay. So you'll just be hearing an echo, like a 17-second echo.
Huh. I'm looking for mute.
So are you calling on the same device that you're listening to? On?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, you get it. Well, welcome to the Truth Quest.
I hope I'm not interrupting because you're like on a particular
No.
story there, which I'm not really familiar with.
Well, I'll show you. I was watching. There's this YouTube channel that plays live streams supposedly of the space station, the International Space Station, and it shows like the trajectory of where it is, and it shows the space and the Earth. And so I was taking random screenshots of this because it's beautiful, and then I was messing with the levels of the screenshot of the picture, and I found something. It came out of the darkness when I made it super bright. Let me show you. Are you curious?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Let me see if I can find the original picture. No, that's not on my desktop right now. But so here, well, here's the picture. It's kind of two pictures in one. The one picture is the picture that I got, the fuzzy one over here, because I had to increase the brightness so dramatically to
Hmm.
to to find it. It was just in the darkness, you couldn't see it. And on my previous episode, I did this on screen where I increased the brightness and you could see it, and then you save it, and you do it again, and you see how bright the Earth is. I mean,
Right.
the Earth is not really this bright, and the space station was not this bright. But the fact is that I had to brighten it so much. But I got this, and so we were trying to figure out. Okay, these look kind of like Soviet, kind of bent solar panels, kind of like this. This is a Soviet thing. So, is this a Soviet Soviet space station? I don't know.
Hmm.
What is it? I don't know. So it's kind of an anomaly that just kind of popped up, and I'm just kind of amazed by it. What do you? Some people say, well, it could be a reflection on something on the interior
Oh,
part.
no, I mean, it is something. I don't think it's a reflection of anything, but it's an interesting picture. I mean, I wonder what you've got a picture of there.
I know. Yeah, it's really, really weird. From what we can
I mean,
gather,
it looks like you have the solar panels,
yeah,
but I don't know what's above that because that's an interesting configuration. It's hard to figure it out, as you said, because it's so out of focus.
right, right. So we're thinking maybe this is a craft or a space station, and then this is a docking craft that's
Huh.
docked.
Okay.
Possibly. And the idea that the solar panels look like they might be undulating, like you said, it's too fuzzy to find out, but it still looks like it might be kind of like the way these are. They're wavy a little bit, so they can catch sunlight at certain angles,
Huh.
at any angle. But yeah, but it's pointy. So if this was pointy, this would be what this is. But I looked at a bunch of Soviet craft. Maybe there's some Chinese craft like that. The Chinese are really going like nuts out there. So,
It's hard to know who's really out there because we really only hear about NASA or
mhm,
Elon Musk.
right,
That's that pretty much dominates our media. We
right,
don't know, but they're what? There's France, Germany, UK,
yeah,
and also not only that, you have possibly a space force
mhm,
operating too.
yeah.
So it's hard to know what we're looking at.
Did you ever hear about what it's alleged that Ronald Reagan did when he found out about that we had a secret space program? I think he was the last president to be briefed on it, actually.
Hmm.
But has had an initiative, set out an initiative to lobby all countries to give them an option. We are looking at saving the human race if anything happens to Earth. We have a secret space program. We can have your country be part of it, and the people from your country will have their own little colony somewhere.
Hmm.
But you have to give us like 2% of your gross national product or something.
I
And
love it. I love it. A deal, along with everything else, a deal.
and you got to keep it quiet. Yeah, and then they all went along with it. A lot of them did, and they give them like insignificant little outposts here and there while they do their nefarious things. So,
Hmm.
but I thought that was an interesting gesture if it's true. So let's talk about you. I mean, now you told me that you're releasing some podcasts. Now, is there any way for our listeners to listen to those podcasts that you have?
Yeah, yeah. The podcasts are on Spotify.
Okay.
They're on Deezer, DEEZER.com. They're I didn't come prepared.
Okay. No, no,
I'm unprepared.
no, you're not. You're doing great. You're doing great.
That was a nice little plug there for the book, for Peter's book of Dorothy's photographs.
Yeah,
Oh, incidentally, one of the people asked if you could put it up closer to the camera so she could see. I think it was a she. Yeah, I think it's hard to see what those are, but that's what the cover looks like. Yeah.
yeah, it's an image that Dorothy got on one of her.
Well, let me say no. That's actually
It's
that's not it.
it's an artist rendition.
Yeah, actually, there. First of all, there really is an image.
Yes.
That's number one. Number two, that was clearer than the image that Dorothy had, and so the story is that without her permission, the artist did this picture. And I actually, at the time when I first was doing this book back in 2000, 2001, I think it was, I didn't know the difference.
Oh, really?
I mean, I really had not heard the story or anything. I didn't know anything about this. So I inadvertently just said, hey, that's a great picture. I'm going to put it on the front cover. And then Dorothy said that she had asked that that not be the cover of the book. And I didn't get the message.
Oh no.
So
Oh no.
right away, I was like on the blacklist
Oh
for
no.
a little while. Not maybe the blacklist, but whatever.
Now, one of my mods, Mud Rabbit, got me
I
this.
I saw. Oh, really? I saw the name up there when I got on.
Thank you again, Mud Rabbit, because I'm talking to this guy because of you, because we've been talking on the phone. He's a great guy.
Well, I actually, I formatted that entire book. That did not look like that when Peter sent me his manuscript.
Yeah.
So, but the reason I always tell you to get the Kindle is because when I was doing that book, as I said once before, all the pictures are in black and white because basically that's the way things were in the world of print on demand.
Right.
And it would have made the book so expensive that nobody could afford it. Plus, it wouldn't have looked that good.
Right.
But now, that's why I said you get the Kindle, you're going to have a great time because the colors. I don't know what I have to say. When you look at that one, for example,
Yeah.
in color, that one is spectacular.
Yes, it is. But this one's interesting. You can still see the main part of it, and that is she asked who they were, and then there's this what looks like a signature.
Yeah, like a little signature. And here's what's interesting. We were talking about the other night when you and I had a conversation. We were talking about, oh, there she is with Hynek.
Yeah, Hynek.
Alan Hynek.
It's a great book, folks.
So what we were talking about was, and I lost track of what I was going to say, something. Oh, I know. We were talking about the difference between using digital technologies, which is what everyone uses now, and the emulsion technology that she was using back in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s,
Right.
which is Super 8 film. But why I brought that up is because a lot of these pictures, a lot of these photographs that you see that she took from the emulsions were one frame. It wasn't like they were like 10 or 12 frames or 30 frames.
Right.
That's how fast these beings are distributing or transmitting the information. And there is a picture in the book of 3 frames next to each other where you can see how the picture changed from frame 1 to frame 2 to frame 3. And I don't know exactly what the frame speed was, but the point is that this was all happening within microseconds.
Yes, and the thought is that perhaps the entities are. Oh, that's my buddy Maxwell Smart calling me. Hold on a second.
You have to put the shoe up to your head.
Yeah, exactly. Hello, Maxwell Smart. Welcome to the Truth Quest. How are you doing today?
Very good. How are you?
Well, if I was doing any better, I'd be you.
Uh-huh.
Say, we're talking to my friend Bruce Holmes. He just called in, and he's the
Okay.
guy. He's the guy behind this. He's actually the publisher of this fine book, "The Contact with Beings of Light," the Dorothy Izat story, or the amazing
Oh, wow.
true story of Dorothy Wilkinson Izat, and also a really interesting book on Bigfoot that I want to get by the same guy, Peter Gattila.
Oh, wow.
And so he's just a really interesting guy. And so I found this picture here, I think is the one you were talking about, Bruce. And let's see. All right. Multitasking here. It's always a challenge. Okay, so here it gives an example of what Bruce was talking about with the frames.
Ah, beautiful.
So yeah, here's Dorothy with
Alan Hynek.
Ellen Hynek. So here's one frame where it's just a dot. There's a craft there, but it's just like a light in the sky. And then the next frame is this crazy light. Look at this, a light with little dots there. And she said it was like the underside of a big craft here, like it got huge. And then the next frame, nothing. So everything in one frame, I think it's 1/16 of a second or 32nd of a second or something like that.
Well, yeah, you can see right next to it, it's like 0.05555 for the first second of that. Then so that's a half. Let's see, that's 5/100ths of a second. The next up is 0.11
Right.
hundredths of a second, and then
11.
the other one is 16/100ths of a second. So you can see how quick this is happening.
Yes, incredible.
But I just leave that up for a second. But I was going to say to the people that are listening, what really is interesting, and this was the nature of my my concern when we were having our conversation a couple of days ago. The problem is we are all, in a sense, worshiping the digital technology. But my opinion right now is that the digital technology cannot pick up what the analog technologies picked up. And I can't prove that. But right now, one of the things that I find interesting is that we have so many instances of people being able to take photographs of UFOs with their phones. And I wonder what it would be like if those same people had emulsion photos with analog cameras, like, well, you couldn't use a Nikon now because they're also digital, but the older cameras, but with great technologies. They had great technologies in those days. Well, we're losing all that. Now, I'm not suggesting, maybe I am suggesting as this, so I don't mean to suggest that there's something wrong with the digital photography. But what I do think is wrong is that there's so much that I believe is being missed with digital. Incidentally, that picture underneath Dorothy and Alan is a picture of one of the extraterrestrials on the spacecraft, as taken with her camera at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So she had quite a few different cameras, and we didn't have digital technology then. Anyway, it's just something, a point of reference.
Yes, it's man. I'm looking for more pictures to show here. You know what? A picture of the book would be good. Here looks like a good picture of the book. I also found that picture of the alien arms on board one of the crafts. Have you seen
Yeah.
that?
Yes, I made it. I mean, I did. I edited the picture to put it in the book.
Oh, okay.
All those pictures, all this stuff was edited by me. So I'm the guy to blame.
That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. So
Oh, no kidding. I know.
thank you for your service.
And it was very, very disappointing because I did it all in color. And
Mhm.
this is back in the year 2000. And when I got done, I realized, well, nobody's ever going to see these colors because they didn't have Kindle yet.
Mhm.
And so I had to convert it to black and white, and I was so disappointed.
I know. Yeah, that's. Why isn't this opening? I had to close this first. Oh, there it is. It did open. All right, now I can do this. All right, we're so glad you called in. Really looking forward to. I'm going to have Bruce on for a guest sometime soon. So here are those hands. These are the hands of an alien on the control panel of one of the craft that she was on board with her camera. I would love to see more pictures from on board the craft. There's a famous picture in the book of a guardrail on board the craft. That looks intriguing. So I can't wait to get the Kindle so I can show those color pictures. But
These
yeah,
are, these are pretty good. This is a pretty good picture. I mean, this is right. These are the same pictures I had for the Kindle. So,
yeah, I just
and
Googled it.
it's funny. It looks to me like these are probably pictures that are from my post. I used to have a page that had all the pictures in the book in color. So a person who bought the book in black and white could go up on the internet in the old days and they could go through all the pictures. So that looked like what they are because it was 59.jpg. So I recognize that.
Wow. Yeah, I just took it off the intro net.
Yeah.
The intro.
Well, they're
Went.
probably all up there. I don't know how you would. I don't know how you would do it.
I just did a Google search for Dorothy Izat and images. That's all I did.
Well, I'm just apparently they don't have all the images. I actually used to have, like I said, all the images were up, but I took them down
Mhm.
to get people to buy the Kindle so that they would have all of them at one place. Plus, I think that the pictures in the Kindle are a little clearer because they're not 72 dpi, but they're 300 dpi.
Oh, okay.
However, the bottom line is there's only one master of the picture.
Right.
So, whether it was, I don't even know how they were originally scanned. I did scan a number of these from pictures that Peter had given me, but he got them from Dorothy. I never got Dorothy's pictures because at the time, this is, like I said, this is like 2000.
Mhm.
I had no knowledge of this particular situation. I did not know. Matter of fact, the question was, what are we going to call the name of the book? And I looked at it. I kept looking at all the information. I said, let's call it Contact with Beings of Light. Just off the top of my head, it was like, but I think Peter originally was thinking of calling it Beings of Light. And I felt like it was more than that.
Mhm.
I like the idea of contact because, yeah, that's there. Yeah, that's a good, much better picture. So you can see the those are what are the hybrid children called? There's a name for that.
Star children or star seeds.
Something like that. But I think there's a hybrid name. I forget what it is. But on the left, okay, I might be wrong about this, but as I remember, on the left was the mother, and then I'm sorry.
On
Okay,
the right, the
on
mother.
the right. Okay, I'm looking at it like it's a mirror. Okay, so on the right is the mother, the ET mother, and on the left are a group of 5 hybrids.
Now, I had a different understanding of this picture. I thought it was a picture of Dorothy where she saved the children by bringing them into that tunnel in Italy.
Well, you know what? If you're right, I'll stand corrected, and I don't mind being corrected,
But
but who am I?
Oh,
I'm
this
just the
guy-
guy that put the thing together.
This guy's a really nice guy, guys. Go out and buy his Kindle. Now they can get it on Amazon.
Amazon, yeah,
So it's what,
Amazon.
$9.99, right? Bargain.
Instantly. You can have it
Bar-
while we're talking.
A bargain at twice the price.
And you don't have to have a Kindle to just, that's the best part about what they did with that
You don't.
technology.
That's what's been holding me up. You don't have to have a Kindle.
No, you can use it on any computer, any browser,
That's good.
and because you just get their download. It's free. You download whether you have a Windows computer or a Mac computer,
Mac.
and I don't even know there might be one for Android. I'm sure there is by now.
Well, that will be my first Kindle purchase. So go run out and get this, because this is a great book and nobody else has this book. He's the only, if it wasn't for this guy, this book would not exist, friends. So I'm eternally grateful, because I just, there's one story in the book that is not in the movie that I talked to you about it. It's where Dorothy is entertaining some people from Japan. They came over to see if they could experience something, and they went to a fair or a carnival, and Dorothy kind of went outside the fence a little bit, and then all of a
Oh,
sudden,
right. Yeah. Go ahead.
this craft came right down right in front of her, and they made one of the panels clear, and they were waving at her, and she was waving at them, and she was filming them. And when she got her film back, she said that she must have been caught in a time distortion, because she filmed herself filming them. So, yeah, so cool. And so I wow, I kept going, oh, I hope the second movie comes out. I hope they have that on there. Man, that would be so cool.
I should probably call Frank and ask him what he's doing.
Yeah.
Now, he and I need to talk anyway. I mean, it'd be nice for me to just kind of like open that relationship back up, because it kind of closed down for a while. So
Yeah, I gotta get
because
him.
I like Frank a lot. He was a really cool character. I like
He's
him.
a great guy, and I did a great interview with him, but that interview got deleted accidentally.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was
That's like one of my websites my son deleted by mistake, and neither one of us had a backup.
Oh,
And
no.
it had like thousands of component parts.
Wow.
It was a real heartbreaker for that one.
Oh, geez Louise.
Uh,
So what's the name of your podcast, so that people can check out your podcast?
Yeah, I am. It's called the Timeless Voyager series, and there are 3 available right now, and they're free. I don't charge for them or anything. But what I did was, a lot of the people that are listening probably don't know that I had a program back in 89, 90, let's see, 89 through 94, I guess it was. And it was called Timeless Voyager Radio. And it was very similar when Art Bell had Dreamland. I had Timeless Voyager Radio. Art was a cool character. I liked him a lot. He was a fun guy. We both unknowingly had set up what later became the standard home radio contact studio to transmit your information out to satellite. He had one in Pahrump, Nevada, and I had one here in Santa Barbara, California. So I did about 250 shows, I believe.
Wow.
And I had taken the show off the air in, I guess it was 94. And I had intentions of getting back on, but what happened was I got into my publishing company, and I felt like I could really do something with the publishing company. And I liked being the creativity. I do the artwork. I did the covers, all that kind of stuff. And I liked it. So I just thought, well, someday I'll revisit timeless Voyager radio and figure out what I can do. And about 2 years ago, a friend of mine was over here in the recording studio in my garage, and he said, "Where's your timeless Voyager stuff?" And I said, "It's someplace in the shed." he said, "Well, don't you think you ought to like start archiving all those shows?"
Yeah.
And my knee-jerk reaction was, I don't want to. I don't want to do it. It's going to be so much work. That's all I thought about, was how much work it would be. So he said, well, what's holding you back? And one of the things that was holding me back at the time was that maybe half or 2/3 of those shows were recorded on DAT tape.
Mm.
The other third were on both analog cassette. So I said, the DAT machine that I have is a mess. I can't make it work. I can't get the parts, and I certainly can't afford it, and I'm not going to get involved. And that was my answer. So about 3 weeks later, maybe a month later, Lauren, that's his name, said, "Hey, I have something for you." So I said, "Okay, can I bring it over?" So I said, "Sure." So he lives out in Montecito, so he came out here to where I lived. He said, "Well, here it is." He had this like a blanket around this, whatever. I didn't even know what it was. So I opened it up, the blanket, and I'm staring at a Panasonic 3700 professional DAT machine.
Wow.
I could never afford a machine like this.
Wow.
When it was new, it probably cost $4,000 or $5,000. I said, "Where did you get this? And how much do I have to pay for it?" He goes, No, it's a gift.
Wow.
I said, "It's a gift?" I said, "How?" He said, "Well, a friend of his, I'm not going to mention who he is because I try to respect all of my friends who are in the music business, was closing down his studio, and he had 2 of these machines.
Oh, wow.
And Lauren said, 'Hey, what are you going to do with them?' And he said, 'I don't know. I was going to give them away or throw them out.' And he said, 'Well, here, give me one for my friend over, in Santa Barbara, because he needs to get this stuff together.'"
Yeah.
So that's the story of that. So the
Oh.
bottom line is, I thought about this is like the way I tell a story. It's like endless, just goes on and on. And I'll cut to the chase here. So about 6 or 8 weeks ago, I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to stop screwing around with this and figure this out. How do you do a what is this thing called again? I forgot already.
DAT tape?
No, I'm talking about the
Archive?
taking in, and they're available now. Podcast. How do you do a podcast? So I went up on the internet and I said, like, how do you make a podcast? I have no problem just admitting I'm a newbie. And I went through all this stuff, and I came out after about 3 or 4 hours. I had read all of this information, and I found out, okay, you have to have a host distributor. So I went with this company, and I didn't know what I was doing. And I literally just started then. So we could say about a month ago. And by about a week ago, I had finished archiving 1 tape. This one that I put up first is called the Alagash Incident. Are you familiar with that one?
It sounds familiar, but
yeah, the Alagash Incident is the one about 4 art students.
Oh yeah.
Who were on the Alagash River one night, camping out, and decided to go for a ride in their boat to go fishing. And they had a bonfire that they made so they could tell where they were. They went out on the boat, and then all of a sudden, when they came back, there was no bonfire, just embers. Mm-hmm. They were all confused. They didn't know what happened. As time went on, they had been plagued with, dreams and things, but nobody knew what was going on. And finally, one of them was seeking therapy, and during some, I believe it was a regression therapy of some type, he began to tell the story of the fact that they were out in the boat and a craft was hovering over them, and the four of them went up on the craft and were, prodded and all that usual stuff, and then delivered back to where they were, and then they went back on, and they didn't know that it had happened.
Wow.
So Raymond Fowler, who wrote the book, contacted me, and this was, I think, in 92 or 91, I think. I mean, I could probably look. One of the problems is that my two screens are blacked out, except for the one with the picture of the book. But the point I want to make is that was the first one I did. So that's the one that's up there, the Alagash case or something like that. Then the other one that's up there, the second one, was one that I did with Amber Terrell. Probably don't know the name, but a woman by the name of Gangaji, who's a very, very well-known seer. I won't call her a guru, but an incredible teacher. Amber studied with her. I knew Amber. I didn't consciously know Amber, but we had passed a few times back in the early 70s.
Mhm.
And so she came on the show because I had seen Gangaji about 5 years ago someplace. And Amber had studied with Gangaji for a long time. And Gangaji was let me know when you've run out of time. Gangaji was a pupil of Papaji. It almost sounds like a joke in a way. So the bottom line is, Amber tells a beautiful, wonderful story of her quest for what we would term enlightenment, or whatever people want to call it. And so I did that one. That was a good one, And then the last one that I did, which was about 4 days ago, was an interview that I did with Zechariah Sitchin.
Oh, wow.
In 1991. And anyone knows, I think he passed away in 2006 or something like that. And wow, was I impressed. What a great show it was. An hour. It was just phenomenal. So that one I posted. So those three are up there.
Okay.
And the only problem that I'm having, due to something that nobody seems to be able to figure out, is that while I paid my membership to Apple to be in the Apple podcasting membership, whatever it is, for some odd reason, they can't seem to make it work. And that's been going on for a week now. So that's why it's not on Apple. But I'm sure that it'll eventually get straightened out. But anyway, so bottom line is, does that answer your question about the podcast? They're available and they're free, so people can enjoy them, and they're good. They're quick and easy, and you don't have to belong to anything to listen.
I think someone actually put the link up for it, but also now Austin Morris says the aliens at Alagash looked like grays, but they had weird snapping turtle faces. I don't know the other aliens that had that appearance. Yeah. Had you heard that?
No, it's interesting. I because I did that interview, I think in 90, I don't remember. I think it was 91 or 90 or something like that.
Okay.
Again, I'm going way back in the archives. So I had the book someplace around here, but I don't know where it is. And I don't know if there are any pictures in the book either. So however he got that information, I don't know.
All right.
But it's as good as anything else that we've heard so far tonight. So if that's what he says, I mean, why not? Why not?
And people might be kind of confused how a Moriarty and a Holmes could be friends, but we're friends.
You love this one, don't you? You do.
We are. So Holmes and Moriarty are usually not friendly to each other. So I guess we made amends. So there we go. And
well, you ought to fill people in case they don't know.
So Sherlock Holmes, his arch enemy was Professor Moriarty. And now my name is spelled differently than the Moriarty and Holmes. And so is Bruce Holmes' last name, spelled a little differently.
No E in Holmes, which is the biggest problem I've ever had in my life.
And mine same here, because spell check always makes mine with one I, Moriarity with one I, but I have 2 I's. So yeah, it's the more obscure spelling of Moriarity.
You know, I'm going to do something. I just want to get off the. I mean, I just want to like take about 3 or 4 minutes. I want to find my copy
Okay.
of Dorothy's book, because it occurred to me the other day that no one ever talks about this one part that was very important to her,
Okay.
and it was very important to me.
Okay.
And I'm going to finally do something about this. So give me a second. I'll be right back.
Sure. Okay. Max, are you still there? Oh. Let's see. Should I call him back? Let's call Max back. We're calling Maxwell Smart back. I'm sorry to leave him hanging so long. Hi, Max. Hi, Max. Sorry to keep you waiting so long. Bruce went to go get something. Now here's your chance to get in and say something. I'm sorry you had to wait so long.
Oh, it's okay. I'm enjoying everything.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I had some crazy static on the line, and
Okay.
then the phone dropped off.
Okay.
It was very bizarre. I don't know what that was, but no, I was very interested.
Yeah, he's a really cool guy. He's a very cool guy.
Guy.
Yeah, he's fantastic, and I'm so glad that he's getting back into the swing of things, because we need guys like him. We need guys like him out there.
Yeah, fantastic. He was fantastic.
Oh yeah.
I was enjoying every bit of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You know, and how often do you get to hear a Moriarty and a Holmes talking? Not very often. And Maxwell Smart. So what have you discovered recently, Max?
Oh, well, I've just been digging into this observation. A while back, a few episodes ago, I told you about how I noticed that when Trump gave his short speech on Veterans Day, he kind of paused as he said, "Happy Veterans Day." Well, doesn't sound like much to most people. They wouldn't notice anything, but of course, I look at the mathematics of the words all the time, and I noticed that when you add the digits, just like Q is 17, and so on and so forth, you do for all the digits in happy, and you get 66. And when you do veterans, comes out to 104, and then day is 30. Well, then I further noticed if you look at 66 and 104, you had the first two words, he gets 170, which is 17 plus 0, which is Q, right? And then Q30, I said, whoa, Trump's sending a, signal,
Mm-hmm.
And I was intrigued by the 11/11 because, Veterans Day, and I've been one of these people that even before 9/11, I was seeing 11/11 and everything. And even after 9/11 happened, in recent time, I've had this, kept seeing 11/11. I said, supposedly we were having premonitions of 9/11, but since it happened afterwards, what could possibly be the premonition? And then it dawned on me it was Veterans Day, and I think the premonition, in my case at least, was to make me focus on Veterans Day, and especially what Trump might send. Well, when you further analyze that, I just said it said Q30, but then I said, well, what if this is a date? The 3 words could be part of a date. And 66, I said, okay, add the 6 and 6, you get 12. Okay. And then you add, and then you have 104, you add 10 plus 4, and you get 14. And then the last one was 30. I said, wow, if you add the last 2 digits of this year's 21, it's 3, which you can add a 0 at any time. It's 30. I said, whoa, that's interesting. So, I said, what if he's signaling us that something's going to happen on December 14th, which of course is coming up very soon. So I didn't think too much of that. I just went on and do like I always do and just be observant of other things. And last night I was listening to a show, and the next thing to play, a lot of times I just let it play. And the next thing to play was this interview with Donald Trump, and he was talking about his new book. It was Our Journey Together is the name of the book.
Okay.
So, of course, I analyzed Our Journey Together, and lo and behold, you know what the message there is?
No.
17.
Wow.
It comes out 17.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So he's basically saying, that. And then I went on a tangent. I said, okay, I wonder what happens if you spell out Q plus. And so I sit there and did it. We know what the Q part of it is. Let's say what's plus come out to be? Well, it comes out to be 68. If you add the digits there, you get 14, right?
Okay.
So Q14, what the heck is that? Well, put 17 out there. Take 5 away from that 17, right? So you got 12, 14, and put the 5 at the end, and it's just a different representation. It stands for 12, 14, 20, 21. I said, whoa. It's like, I was going down these things, and then I went back to my past, and I was looking at some things, and I used to be a ham radio operator, and I'm not going to dox myself and give out the call sign here, but I noticed my call sign also says the same thing.
Wow.
It's like, whoa. So I started, it's crazy. I had a conversation with a lady I never met before today, and I just how I do these things, and all of a sudden I realized her name says that, and like everything around me is saying that. She was telling me about this place I ought to visit, and gave me an address to this place, and I instantly recognized the address. Her address and phone number are telling me the same thing. It's like what's going on here? It's like the deja vu of all deja vu.
Wow. Interesting.
Everything around you is telling you, it's essentially screaming to you that there's something going to happen on this day. Well, do I know what it is? Heck, I don't, because it could encode for another day. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I give some credibility to the 14th was that when the Happy Veterans Day portion makes it more obvious that it's referring to the 14th.
Okay.
So I'm just interested to see what happens here basically this coming week,
Yeah. We'll keep an eye open on the 14th. Maybe something will happen. That sounds really interesting.
Well, we'd all love to see something turn around.
That would be great. It looks like Bruce got the book, that important thing that Dorothy Izett, the most important part of the book.
Well, I don't know if it's the most important part, but it was an important part that nobody seems to ever talk about.
Okay.
And so it's basically it's that chapter 8, which is page 59. And the question that she always wondered about, because she was a very devout Catholic and had real conflicts with all of this stuff that she was involved in, all these pictures, all of these beings. She had quite a lot of trouble on trying to figure out why. Matter of fact, the name of the chapter is Why Dorothy.
Why Dorothy?
Well, it turns out she went and had a regression done in 1979. And so those 3 pages up to page 61 talk about that. But what happens is there's an actual, starting on page 64, there's a sort of a simple no comment session that was written down by Peter. He actually got a copy of it. And basically she's did not think she could be hypnotized. She was very, very concerned. And once again, she was concerned about this name that kept coming up, which was Minari.
Right, Minari.
And her question was, you brought it up. I mean, friends, all, okay, I'm going to read this. This is from page 64. And this is something that I had forgotten about that you made me remember. Friends, all women in white robes. Remember you were showing that picture?
Mm-hmm.
I'm advising my name is Minari. And I want to try a new experiment which has to do with light. Oh, I'm in a big cave, many children laughing and playing. I work with energy and crystals, firestone crystals cut into different shapes, and they draw light. The crystals are used for many things, depending on size, shape, used for lighting caves, moving things in the air that fly. The more cuts in the crystal, the more power. They come from the deep within the earth, difficult to do. So that picture that we were talking about, the photograph or the picture from the front of the book, okay, that's that picture. And she is, it's not actually Dorothy, but it's her, I
Minari.
think, in the and she was concerned about the concept of reincarnation because in Catholicism, at least, there's really no explanation for why that would even be possible, or that it is possible. So she was concerned about this person, Minari, and that person was supposedly her now.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a long time ago when this happened, 10,000 years ago. I mean, it's that's how long ago Minari exists. And she went through this whole thing where she was searching for Minari. And then the chapter 10, which is on page 73, which is called Minari, she actually explains what she remembered about that
Mm-hmm.
and about the hypnosis. And she began to realize that there was no way that she could ever deny the concept of reincarnation any longer. And she had to work that into her Catholic upbringing, which she did very well.
Yeah.
The question that she always had was, again, why? Why am I taking the photographs? Why am I the one they contact? It's very important, a very important point, because as I've said before, just because you have a camera and you can point it at the sky doesn't mean that you're going to get anything worthwhile. You might get something hazy or something that everybody's seen, but she did not get something everybody has seen. She got actual contact, real photographs of real communication, things that were really happening in possibly alternate universes. I'm not sure how to explain it, and I'm not going to make things up, because I've learned the hard way that it's better not to do that. but the point of what I'm talking about is, if you go into that chapter 11, which is verification, that's where she begins to actually go and take her pictures and show them to people and try to figure out where are these places that she was having remembrances of. And she found so many places that she felt very, very familiar with, even though she had never been there, or she didn't feel like she'd ever been there. And she began to become more and more understanding of the concept of Minari, and that's a name of someone that she had been in the past. I think that that's part of the book, that part of the book for some reason, because it doesn't have pictures and
Mhm.
doesn't seem to have a lot of relevance because people are so um, uh, excited about the photography and the fact that this is, extraterrestrial pictures and all that stuff.
Mhm.
They ignore those chapters or don't read them or whatever. And I thought it might be nice to just say something to people who are interested that there was more dimensionality to Dorothy than
Mhm.
that two-dimensional person, very flat, somebody who took pictures and blah, 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 and that's all it is. She also had her own question about what was going on. And I'm
Mhm.
sure that this could happen to anyone if you all of a sudden begin to have these experiences. People have to realize that the experience is so different from hearing about the experience.
Mhm.
Having the experience is completely different,
Yes.
and never do words ever do it justice.
Right.
And so this book, for instance, this just tip of the iceberg of her experiences
Mhm.
is just an incredible book. And I mean, we've talked about, is there another book, and like Frank, is there another film? And we lost Dorothy a while back, and or at least we lost her. She might still be around, but we're not able to contact her that I know of. And uh, I felt kind of weird about it. I want to kind of like bring this back and book end this thing, because I thought to myself, when I had so many opportunities to do an interview, to do interviews
Mhm.
with Dorothy, we had so many phone calls, just the two of us. I wasn't even on the air at the time. And it never once occurred to me that I should record it. And so, there's something that I live with. And
Well,
I always think about that. And I always feel like I want to make sure that people understand that there's more to Dorothy than just the pictures.
mhm.
I mean, it is an amazing true story, but there's so much information there.
Yes. And as you've been talking, I went on the intranet and I found the actual
Yes,
picture that Dorothy took that showed up on one
right.
single frame. So the aliens, I had uh, proposed that the aliens are painting with light these images so that they can get a point across, and that clearly that's a woman. The tallest image there is a woman with a white robe on, some kind of white dress on, and there's children behind her. It's very clear to me. Um, it's incredible.
Yeah, and I think Lucy West was the artist that did all of the uh, artist renderings, and Lucy did a great job, I thought, of trying to bring forward something that you really can't see.
Mhm.
Um, and so the question, of course, and that was what Dorothy was concerned about, because she felt, well, there were never faces like Lucy had put there, and she didn't want that to
Right.
go out like that. And like I said, if I had known, I wouldn't have done it, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know that the picture that you're looking at, the original picture, um, is really is real. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, whatever it is, whatever it is, okay, it's not your standard picture from the uh, college yearbook.
So I just increased it from 72 DPI to 300 DPI. See if I can get a better.
Yeah, I think about the best you can do is I have a pretty sophisticated imaging program, and I spent a lot of time with that particular picture, and really wasn't able to even change. I mean, I changed all kinds of light, I changed colors, I mean, I just did everything that was available.
You know what I want to do?
And
With this? You know what I want to do with this? I want to a layer. I want to layer it. I want to like put it on top of itself to get more to get
sure,
more.
yeah.
That might work.
Hey, anything is possible. I mean, we're really, like I said, we're at the tip of the iceberg. This is the book is basically calling out for people to say, hey, don't just drop this thing. It's not just a one-on anomaly. This is like the beginning of something really important that probably can be followed up on if people are willing to do it.
I also want to tell you, Bruce, that you might be happy to know that I have spent time talking about that very part about her regression and about all that fantastic stuff when she was with the crystals and everything. I was totally fascinated by that. So I think
Right.
that's a very, very important part. I totally agree with you. And in fact, that's the only part I really read from in this book so far.
Wow, you usurped me.
Well, that was before I talked to you, and
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you were ahead of me. That's
well,
good.
and I've been without this book for so many years, and I've been remembering that. And I think I probably even mentioned it in some of my early episodes because it's something that really stood out to me. And it was after I saw the movie and then I read the book and I went, oh my gosh, I really wish some of this book material was in the movie. But the book is always better than the movie. So, and it wasn't made directly from the book. I think they used it as a kind of a guide, sort of. But
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that came about like that, but I think what Frank wanted to do was to have his own discovery.
yeah,
And what well, I don't know what he discovered, but I mean, I'm assuming that one of the things that Frank discovered was that it's not easy to point your camera at the sky and get something like this. Look at the kind of stuff she got.
yeah, impossible. Unless your name's Dorothy Izat, then you get it all the time. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't all the time. I mean, she and I talked about this many times, and there was, of course, there was a lot of, I mean, there was a lot of film that was lost, and there were times when the camera didn't work, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just the way life is. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that I don't believe that Dorothy was the only person who has been doing this. I just feel like there are people out there that don't know about the book. They don't know about Dorothy's story. They don't know that someone was experiencing the same thing. And I think there's probably people out there that have film and can corroborate the story, because that's what I would like to have happen, is that we could corroborate this.
Mm-hmm.
One of the issues is when you have a one-up like this thing is, I mean, what are you going to do with it? You say, well, somebody had this experience, here it is. But when you say other people have had this experience, here they are, this has been happening all over the place, then it starts to gain its strength and its power. That's how something begins to open up. So that's what I've been hoping for. And I haven't been as open about that as I have been tonight, because I just think it's time for me to come out and just, using whatever availabilities I have, begin to figure out how I can get people to know that I'm looking for this.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can find it, yeah, I'll put another book together. I'll put many books together. And I know that Frank would do another movie if he could find something that would add to this. But right now, it was hard to find anything that he could add to it. It just seemed like all there was all of this original, and there's nothing wrong with the original stuff. And this is not anywhere near the only information that's available. There are lots of other pictures that Dorothy took that are not in the book.
Yes. Okay. Sure.
But one of the difficulties is getting the estate to let go of that stuff. I don't know what they want to do with it, but it's not I mean, I don't have I would certainly like to see it, but I haven't been able to get them to allow me to see that.
The part of the movie that I really liked was when the daughter was telling the story when she was a little girl.
Yeah, I think her name is Marilyn. Remember, I couldn't remember her name, and the other night I realized it was Marilyn.
And Dorothy was having a rough time because no one was believing her, and she just
Right.
at this point she just wanted to throw them all in the fire, burn them all, and get rid of them and be done with it. And then that little girl comes up and said, "I believe you, Grandma."
Yes. Yep.
And that is what gave her the courage to continue on and not to destroy everything that she
Or are
had
you
done.
talking about Marilyn's daughter?
Yes,
Not Dorothy's. Okay, the granddaughter. Okay,
Marilyn's
I got
daughter.
it. I got it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, her granddaughter.
Yeah.
That sweet little girl came up the stairs and said, "I
Yep.
believe you, Grandma." And that's all she needed to keep that fire going. So thank goodness. Otherwise, we
Well,
wouldn't be talking right now.
that's right.
And Moriarty would never have made friends with Holmes. Like
that's
everyone,
that's true. That's actually true. Yeah, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if bringing us together is this plan that Dorothy had or something.
could be.
So probably I've taken enough time.
Well, Bruce, I want to really thank you for coming on to the Truth Quest. You've really. I was kind of hoping that you would call in. Now I'm going to have you as a guest sometime. I'm going to nail you
Oh
down.
yeah, no, we're going to do that.
And
Yeah.
nail down a date so we can get you on here as a guest, because I think the people would really love it. They've really liked what's happening so far. So yeah, let's do that soon.
Well, listen, I want to say one thing, Aaron, and that's this. I appreciate what you are doing.
Thank you.
I can't say any more than that because I think that was very heartfelt and I mean it.
Thank you very much. There's nothing I'd rather do than to, bring stories like this to new eyes and new ears, and to connect with people like you that have this. And he's got more than just a couple of books, friends. He's got tons of books. I mean, how many books do you have? I mean, a lot, right?
I should be able to rattle off the number, right? I
20
think
to 30?
I'm a micro publisher. I only have about 30 books. That's about it.
Only 30. Well, that's more than I have. That's for sure.
I want to see. I'm looking forward to look at your children's books because that's always an interest of mine.
Oh, really?
So
Well, here is two of the children's books that I did. Popple and Popple's Place.
how? Oh, okay. That's not the book. That's okay. I was saying, how did you get a book that you can see through?
I know.
No,
Exactly.
a great picture. Great picture. I like that.
Yeah,
Hey, that's cool. Turn it around. Now, how did they do the back like that? I don't oh, I see. Okay, I got it.
I actually did all the typesetting and everything in this
No,
book.
I don't mean that. I was like into the glass.
Well, it's like that because my green screen is green, and all of the hills in the background, the trees
Got
are
it.
green. So they're making it look like
Oh, it doesn't. You really can't see through it.
right.
That's
You can't see,
great.
I mean,
It was like a magic trick. That's great.
see, look, my hand disappeared. Oh.
Now you know why I was so confused. I'm sorry. Okay, so it's Popple.
Popple and Popple's Place. So here's one of the pages inside.
Ah, beautiful. Wow, that's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful.
And I actually have another channel. It's called 3 a.m. Studios. And on there, I actually read both of the books. So you can hear both the books. And on the dust cover here, there's a little bookmark you can cut out.
Cool. You know what? If I ever get, I told you all my stories. So if I ever get to the chance to have a YouTube show like this, you will be my first guest.
Awesome. That would be great. I'm looking forward to that. Looking
You're
forward.
you're really great. You're really great. All right, look, let's let somebody else talk. You can talk. I'll stop.
All right. Thanks again, Mr. Holmes.
Oh.
Sherlock. I might call you Sherlock by mistake sometime, but
Okay, and you will be the first.
I bet not. Thanks, Bruce. We'll talk to you real soon.
All right, Aaron. Bye.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
That
All
was
right.
great.
Yeah, what a surprise, folks. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Go
A lot
ahead.
of people appreciate not only what Bruce is doing, but what you're doing, and what so many other patriots are doing.
What a nice guy he is. So are you. I mean, we're all pretty nice people, but he's a lot nicer than Sherlock Holmes, I think.
Good.
So yeah, great guy. And get the book. The Kindle book has the color pictures, and it's less money. I think it's like $9.99. The book itself is $16.95 US, $23.95 Canada. So order it while you're in the US. It's a little bit cheaper. I like to have hard copies of books. I love being able to just sit down with a book, on the porch on a beautiful day and read a book. And that's a great book to read. Very incredible. Very awesome. I mentioned my other page. So continue on with your discovery of all these numbers that are cascading around you, showing you this date.
Well, there's another one, a revelation I just had, just in the last few minutes.
Okay.
Maybe some of you know about our fellow patriot has the channel White Hat.
Oh yeah, White Hat. He's a great guy.
Right, and so I was just doing my number thing, and I said, okay, well, White adds to 65, which of course 6 and 5 adds to 11, and then Hat adds to 29, and 2 and 9 adds to 11.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say, wow, that's interesting. 11, like kind of like Veterans Day, November 11th, 11th, 11th.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there, and I say, if you take one of the one from one of the 11s and add it to the other, you get 12, 10. And then, of course, you could take 12 and divide that 10 into 5 and 5, right? So you got 12, 5, and 5. And you could further say, instead of 5, see, with this V math, you can the next octave up from 5 is 14. So you have 12, 14, 5. And then, of course, 1, if you take the digits 20, 21, you get 5. Says, oh, wow, 11, 11 also codes for 12, 14, 20, 21.
Okay.
And I'm like, and so I'm thinking, wow, and then I remembered some obscure fact that I can't remember the guy's name who does the White Hat channel. His birthday's on 12/14. So I was like, wow, isn't that a coincidence?
Wow.
I don't know what the significance is, but
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I was like, there's so many things, that this is how it's been happening in the last couple of days, and you're like, you sit there scratching your head, okay, what in the heck is going on here? But I think it's just a matter of what I've been saying all along, that we are in like a advanced training simulator for mankind, and these numbers are occurring in our reality for a reason. I don't know what that reason is yet. I'm trying to figure it out as much as anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I know it has meaning. I know it has meaning.
Mm-hmm.
Q30 is encodes for the same day where you have the year expressed as 12/14/21 versus 11/11 is 12/14/2021. And I found it interesting. One is basically Q30, another one's Q5 or 50, Q50.
Okay.
It's like interesting. Do I know what it means? No, but
Okay.
it's encoded in a couple of the Q drops, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Where we go one, we go all.
I love that
Translates
one.
to Q30.
I love that one.
And I've talked about before, and also there's a directly on or just after January 6th of this year. There was a post that had actually said Q space 30.
Okay.
And other things there that nobody was talking about, but I saw it and said, I know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
These are some of the parts of the things that were continuing to awaken me to the fact that I knew more. I knew more than I thought I knew.
Mm-hmm.
I think some patriots ought to pick up and look at the drops anew.
Right.
I think there's a lot more information. Like it says,
Right.
You have more than you know.
There was even some 3-year deltas today that were interesting. I want to,
Really?
before too much time goes by, and we've been on air for quite a while, is I want to show the progress on the Awesome Possum book. So
Okay, cool.
I'm redoing the first Awesome Possum book. I'm redoing the art. And I got 3 pages. I'm pretty proud of myself. So let me just read these 3 pages to you. And let me get rid of that box there so I can see what I'm looking at here. All right. So here is, let me see if I can read it. Maybe I'll read it this way because the words are on that side. So I'll just, okay, here's, now again, there's green here you can't see. It's a bunch of foliage. Maybe if I angle it. Well, you're not gonna be able to see it. Okay, so green stuff is not gonna be seen. All right. Let me tell you a story about a cool little possum. It starts out here in the woods. We all say he is awesome. All right. So it's a quick read. All right, there he is in his PJs. Anywhere where you see a see-through, it should be green. Those are green leaves. He lives in a tree way up over there. He hangs on that big branch. Please try not to stare. All right. Awesome Possum can play like crazy. He's full of energy and he's never lazy. And that is how far we are on that redo of that book, friends. So, and thank you, Peggy Dancer, for the super chats the other day. That, and also Catherine Weiss, because that gets me a little closer to my goal of getting those out there so kids can read them. And there's a very important lesson to the first Awesome Possum book, and that is, it's not the cool things you can do. It's how nice you are that makes your friends like you. So it's not,
folks, these contributions help him to come closer to getting another computer to help him with this.
yeah,
His work here.
exactly. Yeah, I got my 2009 iMac that I bought used. And
folks, he doesn't want a new one. He wants
no, another
a
used one.
desktop that
I want another.
used.
I buy cheap used ones that work. So that's my next goal. So it won't take me too long to get it, I hope. So there we go.
So what are these 3-year deltas? You got me
Oh, okay. Well,
intrigued by that.
let me go back and check. Boy, I hope I shared those. I scroll and I see so many things during the day.
Well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot. If you don't want to look them up right now, that's okay.
Let me see. I'm just going to see if I did. Oh, here's some interesting tidbit. The picture of the Pope John Paul with Epstein has been entered into evidence.
Wow.
He's not just Epstein and Ghislaine.
I can't believe on the news today I heard them talking at some length about Bill Clinton and his various trips on the plane and all the different times he had Epstein in the Oval Office.
Yep.
It's like, whoa, this is coming out in the mainstream media. You imagine what more there is.
Here's one of the deltas. Okay, from December 3rd, 2018. The public is about to learn that the DOJ, FBI, and other U.S. foreign assets have been actively working behind the scenes in one of the largest criminal investigations in modern day history. D-class in caps. Greater than. Purpose. Greater than. Illuminate the truth in caps. People, transparency is the only way forward. Controlled media, enemy of the people. Q. That's
what was in the capitals?
In the whole thing.
What things were capitalized?
DOJ, FBI, US, D-class, truth, controlled media. Those are all in caps. And this is.
Well, I suspect that there's an encoded message there. I just don't know what it is right at the moment.
And it's post 25.
There's a purpose for those capitalized,
Post 2539 is what that post is. And I got to show you this, friends, because this is so interdasting. I saw this today and it gave me a smile, and I hope it will give you a smile, friends. Now, maybe you've been, on lockdown, maybe gained a little weight. Maybe you gained a little weight. Well, maybe that might work in your favor. If you have a green shirt and a pair of scissors, yes, you can do this too. Check this out. Yes, you can be peppy. There's a guy with a green shirt on and the scissors, and he cuts out. He's got a little belly, and he's kind of. Wait, he cuts out eyes, so his nipples are the eyes, and he cuts out the mouth, so the mouth is on his belly, and it looks just like Peppy. It's so funny. Oh my God. Yeah, so that's interesting. That's kind of funny. I like that. That gave me a little laugh. That gave me a little bit of a laugh.
Anytime you can laugh in these times, the better.
I love laughing. Now, here's something that came up that someone pointed out. And here. Did anybody hear the story about the peacock?
No.
Did you hear the story about the peacock? Oh, it was a beautiful tale. A beautiful tale. I got a picture of peacock up there. There you go. There's your joke, friends. Did you hear the story about the peacock? It was a beautiful tale. There you go. That's one of my favorite jokes. I love that joke. Remember, jokes, laughing raises your vibration and everything else like that. So raise your vibration and laugh. Laugh when you can. And let me see. Oh, someone posted, did you see that picture of Sylvester Stallone wearing a like a captain's hat that had like a big Q on the front of it. And he says, the caption was, "The storm is here," or something like that. In the background, right behind him, above that hat, right above the Q, is a woman waving with her hand. And she's got a book in front of her face. And the book in front of her face is called Every Last Secret. And she's holding up her hand, like waving. This is right above the Q.
Every Last Secret?
Every Last Secret. And so she's waving, and then some sleuth, some anon, someone who saw something there, recognized the hand. Now it's kind of like the two middle fingers. The middle finger and the weakling finger are kind of like together, and the pinky and the index finger are stretched out, kind of. So it's kind of an unusual way to hold your hand. Okay. So that's Sylvester Stallone there. And now I'm going to show you someone who had.
What's the significance, do you know?
Yeah, I'm going to show the picture right here of the person with a hand like that. Whenever she waved, that's what it looked like. And it's Princess Diana. So is that Princess Diana waving? We don't know. I mean, there's any number of people who are, postulating that she might be alive. Of course, in JFK Jr. I don't know what to think about all this. All I know is it's interdasting. It's
what was it? Every last what?
Every Last Secret. It's a book. I already looked it up. I think it's a fiction book. Yeah.
I'm trying to calculate as we're going here.
Oh, okay. So there it is. Let's see what the chat says about that. Good night, Mud Rabbit. Yeah, we're getting pretty close to the end here. Max, is there anything else that you wanted to say?
Well, I'm just finishing up calculating every last secret to see if it has said anything. So far, I got every is 70, last is 52, and I just haven't done secret here. I was trying to see if there was a message in that orbit, phrase. Secrets 19 plus 5 is 24, and 3 is 27, and then 27 and 18 is 37, and 8 is
Austin says
45.
More distractions. Now, I don't think it's a distraction, Austin, necessarily. Until we get the truth, until the truth comes out, we have to have something to chew on, something to think about. This is a fun thing to think about.
122.
Hello, Desvolt. Hello, Desvolt.
192.
Yes, looks like a storm. I agree.
I don't see any correlation. I found something interesting, however, because it was when you add the digits, you get 70, 52, 70. It's interesting that 70 is on both sides of 52, but I have no idea. It's 777. I guess you could put it.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Looks like jackpot.
That's supposed to be a good number.
Jackpot. Yeah, maybe it is her. Well, I know it's a very slim, unlikely possibility, but if it keeps people, engaged and hoping for good things, I think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think it's necessarily a distraction. I think it's just people trying to figure things out with the limited stuff that we have. We're all trying to figure these puzzles out.
Right.
Thank goodness we all have bat computers now, so we can figure this stuff out. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. Whenever I hear someone say, "Oh yeah, this person's alive," all these people are, you take it with a 10
Grain of salt, build is proof.
a 10-pound bag of salt. Take it with a 10-pound bag of salt, and but
Some of them quite interesting, but like I hear Austin say once in a while on here, is you just can't let yourself believe until you have more evidence.
right, you just got to file it in the that could be file, and when you get more information, whoa,
It's really intriguing,
yeah.
Yeah.
It sure would be a zinger to have some, a couple people or even just one person who we thought was passed away, and then they show up. I still keep thinking it's going to be
Mr.
that.
Epstein, maybe?
Huh?
Like Mr. Epstein, maybe?
Yeah. Maybe maybe he really, really, really didn't kill himself, and maybe nobody did. Yeah, I don't know. It's I think that he really did die. And it's interesting that Maureen Comey, James Comey's daughter, was the one hand delivering the videotapes of the security footage showing what happened during those hours that Epstein lost his life. And the tapes all went missing. Oh, gosh. I'm sure it was just, some sort of accident. Yeah, I don't know. It's very interesting what's going to happen here.
Did Red Pill have anything really interesting tonight?
He had a couple guests on talking about the Convention of States and what that all entails and how that will all go down. So it was pretty interesting. And he had some good callers.
Well, I'm sure you heard this already, that the federal judge declared that at least for essential workers,
healthcare workers,
the mandates are no more.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't seem to be stopping them, though.
I mean, not worldwide.
It doesn't seem to be stopping them, though. People are still pushing for it. And I even heard an interview with Trump today where he's still expounding, just elaborating on what a great job he did rushing this very effective thing out, that there's so much information out there that says it's not effective at all. In fact, it's exactly the opposite, So yeah, it's a little, but I still think that he might be saying that for longevity reasons,
Well, he's playing a chess game, remember?
Yeah.
So optics are important, remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we should think about it and ponder all the things it might mean.
Yeah.
Obviously, but don't jump to the conclusion that that he wasn't working on our behalf. Because that's clearly not the case.
Right.
So we should all ponder the reasons for a lot of things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And say, okay, well, what's he really trying to do here?
Mm-hmm. Here, I just showed another.
Maybe what he's going to do is paint him into a corner or something.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the essential of the plan, is to let them do what they were going to do, only you've already anticipated it, and you made it so that they're stepping into a trap every time.
Mm-hmm.
That's the benefit of seeing the future and letting them trap themselves.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like counting coup in the old Indian tradition,
Mm-hmm.
Making fools of them, embarrassing them, because they think they're so smart and they step right into the trap, which is what happened on January 6th.
Mm-hmm. I just showed a meme, and here's another meme I want to talk about. It's just words. I just replaced the can of air freshener in the church bathroom with an air horn, and now we wait. I love that one. That's a great one.
You can imagine what would happen. You have this vision, some guy sitting there, and all of a sudden the air horn goes.
Oh, that's funny. You know, there was a place out here. They had really good food. It was called the Neighborhood Pub. Unfortunately, he's not there anymore. They had to tear down the building. I don't know what the deal was, but I always had really good food there. And at the Neighborhood Pub, they had, I guess, I heard, the rumor was, in the girls' bathroom, they had a picture of the centerfold from Playgirl of what's his name? The guy smoking the bandit. What's his name with the mustache?
Oh yeah, Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds. So so he's laying there and he's the centerfold, and there's this little, like a little door in front of his you know, his thing.
I mean,
So you have to open up the little door to see what's under it. And what happens is whenever someone opens that door, like police lights light up on the outside of the bathroom door, and maybe a siren. I can't remember if it was a siren or just, but the person walks out and everyone knows what they did. It's so funny. Oh, that was so funny. I wish that place was still there because that was hilarious.
Well, there's a great place that had things like that. It's in Milwaukee, in your state. What's the name? I think it was called International something. And it was actually an old spy place where people would escape, spies would escape to.
Okay.
It's been transformed into a bar. And it's just like things out of Get Smart. There's a booth that a Cone of Silence comes down in.
Mm-hmm.
There's an old style. There's a big long bar like you buy sundaes at. And
Okay.
you sit in there. If you have someone that has a birthday, you bring them in. You get them to sit at this big chair.
Mm-hmm.
And when the time is right, this chair actually goes through the floor.
Mm.
And they got a UFO that goes along the ceiling on a track, and then it hovers down and puts your drinks in front of you on a table.
Oh wow, that's cool.
And now that you have to find your way into this place, they don't tell you how to get in. Everything's a challenge.
Okay.
And I'll ruin it for somebody. They're probably not going to go there, but to get out of this place, you got to find your way out. Whether they have an old style, looks like a payphone.
Mm-hmm.
To get out, you have to dial the digits for open, OPEN, and then a wall moves, and you let you out.
Yeah. Wow.
But the bathroom, I wasn't in the ladies' bathroom, but apparently the bathroom there's a one-way glass looking into the men's restroom.
Oh wow.
But just where the mirror is, right? But
Okay.
It's not full view of the urinals or anything like that.
Yeah.
And but there's all kinds of strange things there. It's a fun place.
Mm-hmm.
And I recommend to people. It's a fun place to go. All kinds of neat things. Like I said, you have to find your way out of the place, and there's special rooms and special things, and we didn't find all of them. They said, "Can you find all the?" Can't remember 100. How many? Gosh, it seems like it was like 107, which is 17. That just dawned on me.
Mm. Okay.
I have to revisit that.
Interesting.
Like, can you find 107 strange things that are incorporated into this establishment?
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it's just a fun place.
Sounds
it may be
cool.
one of the places where I got got my alias Max because they definitely have some aspects there of Maxwell Smart.
Okay, that's cool. You know, the other day I showed one of the memes I showed was a picture of one of the first smartphones that was Maxwell Smart with his shoe phone. Smartphone.
Yeah.
I got a picture up there right now. It's Awesome Possum hanging from the branch, sleeping in his pajamas. And I think that's a good picture to end it on. It's one of the new pictures in the original first book that I just showed. But now you can see the green on it, and it's not see-through. And so I wanted to say that. And so I want to thank everyone who came. I want to thank Bruce for calling in. And also, I want to thank Max for calling in. And everybody who showed up. We really had a great time today. And I'm looking forward to having Bruce on as a guest for, a whole hour or two.
He was fantastic.
Yeah, he's got so much knowledge. There's so many things I want to ask him. And that'll be a great show. And where else can you see a Holmes and a Moriarity? Where else can you see that, Max? You can't see it very many places.
Yeah, and they weren't at war.
Yeah. Maybe we'll have to pretend like we're enemies so we get more people to watch. Maybe.
But there was plenty of arresting conversation. Sorry.
Yeah.
For the fun.
Yeah. Like Holmes would say, Moriarty, where did you learn all this? Elementary, my dear Holmes, in elementary school. That's where, right? Yeah, that was great. Well, friends, we did it again. This was episode 111, believe it or not. Full disclosure. Truth Quest number 111, 111. Yes, that'll never happen again. It'll be 1111 the next time. Next time it'll be 112. So 112 will be the next one, which will be Monday. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. The Truth Quest. It's around 9, 10, or 11 p.m. Central Time. So tune in. Make sure that you're subscribed. Hit that like. We got 17 likes. I like that. And 17 watching right now. Excellent. Perfect number. I want to thank you, Max, for coming by. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you
for all you do.
You're welcome. Thank you to
the great people you have on.
Yes. Thank you to the mods, and thanks again to Bruce Holmes, the mods, and everyone in the chat, everyone who watches, likes, and shares. And remember to keep your camera pointed to the sky so you can take that picture and come on to the Truth Quest and talk about it. Until then, peace in.